Am I the asshole for ruining my Mill's Thanksgiving? Last Thanksgiving, my husband and I went to his parents' house. We are vegan, and they told us that they'll have some vegan food for us. So far, so good. We went to her house for dinner, and she had a number of vegetable dishes on the table to share. Mill told us that they were vegan, so that's what we had. However, at the end of the meal, Mill decided to reveal to us that those dishes were cooked in butter. See, a little bit of butter isn't that bad, is it? Maybe this will teach you to stop being so uptight about that whole vegan thing, she said. Of course we were not okay with her lying to us whatsoever, and she decided to tell us that we were being entitled. This year, we hosted a vegan Thanksgiving dinner at our house. My husband asked me what I thought about inviting Mill over, and whether it was okay with me given what happened last year. I thought about it, and I had an idea. My Mill absolutely hates cucumbers and melons, and will not eat them under any circumstances. She will also refuse to eat zucchini, because they apparently look too similar to a cucumber. She also refuses to eat cilantro. So I suggested to my husband that we include these ingredients in every single thing we cook for the dinner, if we are to invite her over. He thought about it, and agreed that she deserves it after the stunt she pulled last year. So for Thanksgiving, we made a number of dishes, a tomato and zucchini casserole, a salad that included both cucumber, melon, and cilantro, some green beans and mashed potatoes, of course with tons of cilantro. We even added some cucumber and melon to our water jug as well. When she came over and saw the meal, she refused to eat any of it. Am I the asshole? Because petty, and not even smartly so. The right way would have been to include a bit of those things in every dish, but not noticeably so, and then at the end, have the big reveal and say, that wasn't so bad was it? I thought that's where this was headed, and was extremely disappointed when it did not end that way. Missed opportunity for sure. Is tough for messing up this simple revenge plot. Right? They had a whole year to plan, and still couldn't pull it off? So disappointing. The vegan diet has destroyed their ability to plot revenge. Most vegans just like animals. It's not that deep. No one puts cilantro in mashed potatoes. You're a monster. This is the real reason for it. Where I live, it is common to put cilantro in mashed potatoes. It is good. NTA. She is 100% the asshole on the cilantro, because it's a gene in some people that actually makes cilantro taste like soap. Mill fucked around with them the previous year, so I think a little revenge cilantro is fitting. This could have been a very good opportunity to show how inclusive you can be. That you're the better person and willing to make accommodations that are inconvenient to you on someone's behalf. You could have ended a holiday for family by knowing that you never stopped to her level. You could have even rubbed her nose in it a bit. But instead you are all assholes. That's fine too. The problem I have with these sorts of lessons as I grow older is that I've realized that 9 times out of 10, a grown adult that will do something so petty as putting butter in a vegan's vegetables won't learn a thing when they are accommodated. They just think that it's their due and that other people need to stop being so gosh darn difficult and stuck up with their newfound fads, etc. I'd happily bet on the fact that Mill is one of those people, especially considering that she did this to her own son. While this is true, tit for tat doesn't teach people like the Mill anything either. It just reaffirms their thoughts, because they're ignorant twat wiffles who are uninterested in understanding anyone else's perspective. And who cares anyway, whether they learn a lesson? It'd be nice, of course, but the reason to be the bigger person is why you should be the bigger person. The end. There is zero nuance here, which makes it sound fake as hell. Yeah, if they snuck it in and convinced Mill her hated foods were okay, I'd understand as a petty revenge. This is well clearly all the items aren't going to be eaten by Mill. They didn't sneak it in because Op clearly has a better understanding of consent than Mill. You have to consent to eat cucumbers now? Feeding someone something that they specifically told you they don't eat without their knowledge is a violation of consent. Is it? Yes. Because you're making a choice about someone's bodily autonomy with zero consultation or permission from them. Let me put it another way. You go to the dentist for a root canal, and when you come out of anesthesia they tell you they decided to give you a vasectomy while they were at it. They made a decision about your body without asking your permission and without telling you they were going to eat her. You could have shown her how good being vegan is, even for a holiday feast, and instead you were purposely mean, unless you had something else to feed her. I seriously do not understand not wanting to get along with your mother-in-law. I just don't even comprehend that. Trying to be conniving and plotting and scheming over what the mother-in-law did. What the mother-in-law did was absolutely not okay. At all. She is messed up for that. I don't know, man. I just would really hope I would make the honest effort for my husband's mom if I was in a situation like that. I did with my ex-husband *s mom. Now don't get me wrong, lol, I would definitely be like that and more if she was really terrible like all the time. But seriously? That way over simply the situation that the op described above. Not okay. Like, don't you love your husband? And don't you want him to have a good relationship with his mom, and you have one as well? Why is op getting all the blame when her husband went along with it and thought his mother deserved it? Are we forgetting that op's husband is vegan too, which means that Mill pulled her nonsense on him as well the year before? Any mother who would do that to her own kid isn't one who should be catered to. NTA. Maybe I'm just hateful, but I think she deserved it. My sister, my niece and 3 of my 5 kids have celiac disease. One of them is strongly lactose intolerant. When I make meals they are eating, along with others, I state that everything is celiac friendly, except the whatever in the blue bowls, or whatever. I live in a small town, and ask my no milk protein person to bring her special creamer and whipped cream substitutes, since these aren't readily available to me. If I'm having guests, my intent is to be hospitable and accommodate them. Your Mill is a petty old thing, and I hope she enjoys all the greenery you serve her. I agree that Mill definitely deserved it, but this sub isn't. Did X deserve it? It's AmITheAsshole, and what op did was definitely an asshole move. But how is it an asshole move? She didn't do it unprovoked, which certainly would be an asshole move. She can cook what she wants for her Thanksgiving, especially since not liking 2 vegetables isn't the same as living a different lifestyle or having other dietary restrictions. It's an asshole move because she deliberately went out of her way to ensure every item was not something the Mill would eat. It wasn't like she was just making the normal things she'd make. She specifically made them unpalatable for the Mill. As I said, fully justified. Still fully asshole. Just because something is provoked doesn't make it not an asshole move. There's a major distinction. It for making me waste my time reading this. She didn't even eat any of it. As if now it's Mill. 1U0. Edit. You wasted your one chance to get back at her. Now she knows what's up and will, if she's smart, refuse anything you cook for her. Agreed. It op for making us all read this when you couldn't even make Mill eat that. Absolutely, it bothered her a full year. She stewed on what Mill said for so long she lost her chance. There will be no more dinners. What she did to you guys was not fair and ignorant, and I'm sorry that happened to you. But then what you did was ridiculous. Petty spiteful revenge is just a bit tacky. Probably should apologize and say you only did it because of how hurt you were from last year. Then maybe you'll try and move forward. You should have done this with one dish and brought it up to her in a joking manner. After she ate it, it would have shown her that you don't forget what she's done, but you are looking towards a better relationship. Now you've worsened your relationship with your Mill to fulfill petty wishes and set up tension for future Thanksgivings spent with your husband's family. It for wasting our time with your fake story. Take it to a revenge sub. I mean, barely even revenge, just a waste of time. Hey, Mill tricked us into eating something we are morally opposed to, so in return I'll spend a lot of time making meals she doesn't like, already not as bad, and make it so clear that our meal is filled with things Mill doesn't like she won't even eat it. I'm not one to preach revenge or anything, but if someone comes in your yogurt and watches you eat it, I wouldn't say walking up to them and spitting into their yogurt, which they'll obviously not eat now, since they saw you do it, is a proper revenge of any kind. Putting something in someone's food without telling them is always shitty. You can show her that vegan food can be good without being an asshole about it. This any shit is always a gross breach of trust, to think you can alter someone's eating habits by sneaking something into their food, or exclude them from eating altogether by making nothing they can eat. I think veganism is silly, but I would also never intentionally serve a vegan something I know they don't want to eat. But your response was way over the top and shitty. Honestly, what you did was way worse and not clever at all. Good luck repairing that relationship. How is it way worse? The mill has no ethical obligations with eating those things. They are just a matter of preference. The mill also wasn't tricked into eating things she did not want to eat. Those two factors make what the mill did way worse. Veganism is a matter of preference as well, and she intentionally made it knowing her mill wouldn't eat it, so it's basically the same. I totally agree that it has a preference, but I think, and maybe I'm misguided, that those beliefs have an ethical or religious foundation. They somehow carry more weight. I feel like feeding a Jewish person pork is somehow worse than tricking a person that doesn't like the taste into eating it.